This is one case where we definitely don't need to point out which foot is sore. She doesn't even want to put it on the ground. And when it comes to walking, she's anything but a catwalk model as it stands. But hopefully, we'll get her a little bit closer by the end of this video. Once it's her turn, we get her up the race, into the crush, and get her foot in the air. And as you can see, it's completely covered in dried on manure. This is usually the case with cows like this. Because her foot is so sore, it's barely in contact with the ground, so any build-up of dirt just does exactly that. It builds up. Instead of being brushed off by the concrete that she's in contact with when walking, it just builds up. And as you can see from my efforts to clean it, it's pretty tough stuff. A couple of swipes with the grinder though, and we'll be able to see much more clearly what is going on. Throughout the entirety of this video, you'll hear her mooing in the background. She is uncomfortable. Lifting this foot up is causing her discomfort and a slight amount of pain. That's why I need to be exceptionally careful when it comes to this hoof, to not cause any more damage and to cause her as little pain as I possibly can. At this point in the trim, I'm not exactly sure what the extent of the damage to this cow's hoof is. That's why I'm taking so much time, care and effort to understand and navigate my way around this cow's hoof capsule. Rather than taking big chunks of hoof horn away, I'm taking small, thin slithers and then re-evaluating the hoof with literally every single swipe of the blade. It may not seem it may not look like it, but trust me, after every little bit of hoof horn is removed, I'm re-evaluating what I need to do. I use my thumb to push some of the slurry and manure out of the way. I could just use a jet of water, but sometimes in cases like this, even a jet of water can be enough to make the cow's foot bleed. Using my thumb, I'm able to feel exactly what is or what is not underneath. If I could magically wave a wand and this hoof be completely clean, it's exactly what I would do. Anyone in their right mind would like to work on clean cows' feet. But at this farm, we don't have a hose to hand, and even if we did, the pressure from the water needed to clean this hoof would definitely put this cow into even more pain than she needs to be. Just like an onion, there are layers to hoof horn like this. It stops growing, becomes completely detached, and then starts to regrow again. Then again stops growing, and each time that cycle happens, a new layer forms. We're starting to see the ulcer. That pinky patch you can see in the middle of the dirty part, that is the ulcer. I can already tell that it's being attacked by digital dermatitis, which is something else that we're going to need to deal with. I'm using the hook at the end of my blade to separate the good horn from the bad and to peel away what I want to remove from what I want to remain. Hoof trimmers have a saying, it doesn't matter what you take away, it's what you leave behind that matters. Actually thinking about it, that probably transfers to a lot of things in life. Sometimes when cows' feet are this painful, it makes little to no difference what we do in the crush. They still walk away in a huge amount of pain, and it's really disheartening. We just need to remove this final piece of hoof horn from the axial wall, before we'll all find out whether or not we've made any difference whatsoever. The key to ensuring things like this never happen is routine trimming cows' feet 2 to 3 times every single year. But sometimes systems fall down and cows can and do get missed. Right, the trim portion of this is just about over. All we need to do is prepare that outer claw, ready for a block, wrap it up and see how she walks. I'm really encouraged and therefore hopeful about how this trim has turned out. It's really nice and clean, we've got great access to the ulcer, and this wrap should take care of any dermatitis. And just like that, her trim, she takes her first steps. Obviously it's still sore. It's been up and begins to put her foot fully on the ground. Eventually, it is fully on the ground.